What if I told you that the mental filters that you have in regard to the way that you view the situations and interactions with your wife is one of the main reasons why you react the way that you do? Let's use this analogy. Ready? So let's imagine we go to a party, you and I. We both get invited to a party, and as we pull up to that party, I tell you, hey, by the way, there's a bunch of people in this party that don't like you. There's a bunch of people here that don't like you. Well, you would know why they didn't hold the door for you when you walked in. You would know why you didn't get offered food when we walked in. You would know why there were some people maybe in the back of the party looking like they were looking in our direction and maybe kind of telling secrets between one another. You would know why that person didn't introduce himself to you. And you would know why that person left the party early. Because a bunch of people didn't like you. But what if when we walked out the door that day and you said, wow, you know, Tim, I realized a bunch of people here really didn't like me. And then I told you, hey, I was just joking. I was just messing with you. Well, you would realize how what I told you formed a mental filter that shaped the way that you viewed everything that took place in that party. You would realize how what you were thinking was forming the emotions of fear, anxiety, anger, frustration, confusion. You would realize how these mental filters, and see, here's the problem, and most times in the marriage, you have a mental filter. You assume that your wife has a specific motive, and because your wife isn't able to be transparent with you, right, because she fears you instead of feels safe around you, because she doesn't respect you as much as she fears you, fears your reactions, then it turns into a situations where you have to start to mind read. So you start mind reading your wife. Everything you're doing, you're mind reading. And you're assuming that your wife is having ulterior motives with every little thing that she's doing. So you're overanalyzing and critiquing what she's doing. And here's the biggest problem with that. When that starts happening, you start seeing things that aren't even there. And you start feeling things that are created by those thoughts. And then because you're feeling it, you're making it your reality. And then every single day you're living in these emotions because these filters get stronger and stronger and stronger every day. And so what happens is you can't master your own mind anymore. Your mind starts to get clouded by these filters. So what's the solution here? The solution is to work through these filters by recognizing, number one, is there any evidence to support this thought? Number two, how do I know it's absolutely true, right? Is this true? Number one, is it absolutely true? Can I prove that it's true? Number two. Number three, how do I feel in my body when I know that this is true? How does it actually feel for me? And number four, what would be the inverse of this thought and how would that feel, right? If I began to entertain an alternative train of thought. Right? Here's the problem is most people are so inflexible in what they believe, they refuse to see things from a different point of view. And they're so rigid in what they think that they can't break out of their own mental prison. So stop assuming that you're seeing things that are there just based on the mental filters that you created. Stop reading into things too much, because when you start doing that, you start living in somebody else's mind and you stop living in a reality that's based on logic, rationale. You start living in a reality that's just really a false reality that you're creating by your own negative beliefs. Break out of the matrix, start to master your own mind and start to question what you're thinking, because that's the root to a new train of thought. You can't go from one train of thought to another without first breaking down your original train of thought. And how do you do that? Through questions. Through real self-inquiry, real self-reflection, to look inside yourself and start to ask yourself, right? Is what I'm thinking true? Can I prove that it's true? How does it feel in my body when I feel that it's true? And what's an alternative to thinking these thoughts?